In a quiet town nestled between dusty roads and aging brick buildings, lived a 16-year-old boy named Zishan. He wasn't like most boys his age. While others laughed in playgrounds or hung out after school, Zishan's world revolved around one thing: survival. Every morning before sunrise, Zishan would quietly leave his tiny one-room house. Inside, his 7-year-old sister Amina still slept, curled up next to their frail mother who hadn't walked in over a year. Their father had passed away in a tragic factory fire. And since that day, Zishan became more than a boy. He became a protector, a provider, and most importantly, a promise keeper. "I'll take care of them, Abba, no matter what," he had whispered at his father's grave. Zishan worked at a tire repair shop after school. He'd walk 2 miles just to reach it. His shoes had holes. His hands were always black with grease. He earned only 90 rupees a day. Out of that, 20 went to rent, 30 for medicine, and the rest to whatever food he could afford. Sometimes it was just a piece of naan with water, and yet Zishan never complained. What hurt him most wasn't hunger. It was watching Amina sit quietly at dinner, pretending she wasn't hungry so he could eat more. "I'm full, bye," she'd always say with a fake smile. But Zishan knew she hadn't had breakfast that day either. One evening, as Zishan walked home after a long shift, he held a crumpled 10-rupee note in his palm. His weekly pay had already gone toward medicine and house rent, but this 10 rupees, it was all that was left. He passed by a street vendor selling fresh jalebi, Amina's favorite. The golden spirals sizzled in the oil, sweet steam rising into the air. "How much for one piece?" he asked. 10 rupees for 3, the vendor replied. Zishan looked at the money, then looked at the jalebi, then thought of Amina. Tomorrow was her birthday. She hadn't asked for anything, she never did. But he remembered last year their father had bought her jalebi on her birthday. The smile on her face had lit up their whole home. He took a deep breath and handed over the money. "Please pack it in paper. I don't have a bag." As he walked home with the jalebi carefully wrapped, a rare smile played on his lips. "Chatir, be so happy," he thought. But as he opened the door to their home, his smile vanished. There, on the floor, lay Amina. Her little body was limp, her face pale, her eyes shut. Their mother cried out, "Zishan!" She just collapsed. Panic gripped him. The jalebi packet slipped from his hand. He picked up his sister, ran outside, and screamed for help. A kind neighbor, Mr. Reman, drove them to a nearby clinic. The doctor examined her and said softly, "She fainted from extreme weakness. She hasn't been eating enough." Zishan felt a knot in his throat. Guilt crushed his chest. He had spent their last money on sweets. When her body needed food, he sat outside the clinic, head in hands, tears falling silently. "I failed her. I failed my family." But then he remembered something his father used to say: "A real man isn't someone who never breaks. He's someone who breaks, but rebuilds stronger." That night, Zishan made a promise to himself. From the next morning, he started washing cars before school and working at the tire shop after. He skipped lunch many days to save money. He studied late at night by candlelight because he knew education was their only way out. A teacher noticed his efforts and helped him apply for a scholarship. Zishan passed with top marks and later trained as a paramedic so he could serve families like his. Years later, at Amina's graduation ceremony, she stood at the podium in front of hundreds. She spotted her brother in the front row now, dressed in clean clothes, a quiet smile on his face, and she said, "I'm standing here today because of a boy who gave me jalebi when he hadn't eaten in 2 days. Because of a brother who gave up everything so I could have something. My every success is his victory." Zishan had tears in his eyes. The crowd stood in applause. So, friends, love isn't always grand. Sometimes, it's a simple 10 rupees spent from an empty pocket. True sacrifice is silent, but its echoes last forever. If this story moved you, please don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more real and powerful stories. Share this with someone who's ever made a silent sacrifice for you, because sometimes, behind every smile, is a story of struggle and love.